China just built robot soldiers that are 40 times stronger than the average human and can kick a grown man hard enough to send him flying across a room. They're called the T-800 and they're designed for one thing: combat. But that's just what they're showing you. Behind the scenes, China's building an army of machines that don't sleep, don't hesitate, and never disobey orders. While the West argues about ethics, China's racing towards something far more dangerous, a future where human soldiers become obsolete. And they're not slowing down. Remember the movie I, Robot, where humanoid machines start replacing humans and nobody sees it coming until it's too late? Well, it seems like robots taking over is happening quicker than we think. Except, these aren't butler robots helping you carry groceries. These are fighting machines built specifically to overpower humans. Stronger, faster, relentless, and they're being mass-produced right now. When Engine AI released footage of their T-800 performing spinning kicks, mid-air rotations, and executing double strikes with precision, millions of people refused to believe it was real. The movements looked too fluid, too powerful, too controlled to be anything other than CGI. So the company released raw behind-the-scenes footage with no editing, no camera tricks, no post-production magic. Just the robot in a testing facility demonstrating exactly what it can do. And it was all real. Every devastating kick, every rotation, every perfectly balanced landing after delivering strikes that would send a human to the hospital. Here's what makes the T-800 genuinely terrifying. This isn't a prototype locked in some research lab. This is a full-scale humanoid designed specifically for combat maneuvers. It stands at human height. It moves with precision that exceeds trained martial artists. And it delivers kicks powerful enough to send grown men flying backward. But the raw power is only part of what makes this machine dangerous. The T-800 rotates mid-air, lands without losing balance, and immediately transitions into the next strike. It executes complex attack sequences that would take a human fighter years to master. And it does it without hesitation, without fatigue, without fear. When you design a robot that can perform aerial spinning kicks and break through physical barriers, you're not building it for factory work. You're building a weapon. And this is just one model. The Unitree G1 weighs 77 pounds. That's lighter than most teenagers. But researchers tested its strength by having it pull a 3,000-pound car across the ground. Think about that ratio. A 77-pound robot pulling 3,000 pounds. That's 40 times its own body weight. If you had that same strength, you could drag a fully loaded dump truck down the street by yourself. But here's what's truly disturbing. The G1 didn't just pull the car, it maintained perfect dynamic balance while doing it. The robot constantly adjusted its footing, shifted its weight, and recalibrated every movement to stay upright while hauling a load that should have toppled it instantly. That's the kind of strength you need for a combat robot carrying heavy equipment across hostile terrain, moving concrete barriers, or physically overpowering armed resistance. And the G1 can do more. It executes kung fu routines, performs backflips, and recovers instantly from being knocked over. This isn't a machine that falls and needs help. This is a machine that hits the ground and bounces right back into fighting position. Now imagine facing that in combat. A robot 40 times stronger than its size suggests, that never gets tired, feels no pain, and stands back up every single time you knock it down. How do you fight that? You don't. Beijing will tell you these robots are for industrial applications. Heavy lifting, logistics, manufacturing. But when you build a machine that can kick humans across rooms and drag vehicles with ease, you're not thinking about assembly lines. You're thinking about dominance. The speed at which this is happening should terrify you. Engine A. I was founded in 2023. They went from startup to building combat-capable humanoids in under 24 months. That's not research. That's a sprint. Over 150 companies across China are now developing humanoid robots. More than half are startups founded in the last 3 years. The government has declared robotics and AI strategic national priorities, unlimited funding, fast-tracked regulations, zero red tape slowing deployment. These aren't experimental prototypes anymore. These robots are operating in factories, testing facilities, and public demonstrations across China right now. The gap between prototype and battlefield ready is closing faster than anyone predicted. But here's what should really concern you. Robot soldiers need infrastructure to operate. And China's built that too. 15 million autonomous vehicles deployed this year in drone networks completing hundreds of thousands of missions. The logistics system for a robot army already exists. Back to what matters. The combat capabilities. Western companies like Tesla have humanoid robots that can walk, run, and pick up objects. But they're not demonstrating combat capabilities. They're not releasing footage of robots performing aerial kicks or dragging vehicles. China's not hiding anything. The T-800 video was designed to go viral. They wanted the world to see a robot executing martial arts moves and question reality. The answer is yes, it's real. And that's the message. Engine AI specifically designed the T-800 for combat scenarios. Not household tasks, not customer service, raw power, devastating strikes, physical dominance in combat situations, and these capabilities are improving exponentially. The T-800 can kick you across a room today. What will next year's model do? Punch through walls? Snap bones with a single strike? Overpower trained special forces soldiers? Chinese robots are already running at human jogging speeds. They're pulling loads 40 times their body weight. They're executing complex martial arts sequences with precision most humans will never achieve. All with machine consistency. No exhaustion, no injuries, no hesitation. Now, combine those capabilities in a single military platform. A robot soldier stronger than any human that never tires, doesn't need food or water, operates in extreme temperatures, and executes every order with perfect precision. That's not science fiction. That's 5 years away. Reports indicate China's embodied intelligence industry is growing at over 50% annually. Market forecasts predict 100 billion yuan, $14 billion, invested specifically in robots that can move, fight, and dominate physical spaces by 2030. This isn't private companies chasing profit. This is government-backed strategic investment in technology that will fundamentally reshape global military power. So here's the uncomfortable question. What happens when China deploys thousands of robots that fight better than elite human soldiers? You can't exhaust a robot. You can't intimidate it. You can't negotiate with it. It doesn't question orders. It doesn't hesitate. And if you destroy one, they manufacture 10 more within days. A human soldier takes 18 years to raise, years to train, decades to gain combat experience. A robot takes months to build and days to program. The math is brutal, and Beijing's already done the math. The T-800 isn't fully operational yet, but the trajectory is undeniable. Every capability gap is closing rapidly. Strength. Achieved. Speed. Matching athletes. Balance and coordination. Exceeding humans. Combat training. Executing sequences that take humans years to master. The T-800 video wasn't a product demonstration, it was a declaration. We built this. It's real, it works. We're not stopping. Here's what keeps military strategists awake at night. These robots don't just replace human soldiers. They eliminate every constraint that limits human warfare. Soldiers need sleep, food, medical care, morale. They refuse illegal orders. They hesitate facing ethical dilemmas. They break under psychological pressure. Robots have none of these limitations. They operate continuously. They follow every command without question. They don't care if the order is ethical. They just execute. Once you have robots stronger than humans, faster than humans, and more obedient than humans, what do you need humans for? That's not hypothetical anymore. That's the question Beijing's answering right now. The T-800 kicked a human across a testing facility. Impressive in a demo. But think about what that means in reality. A machine delivering strikes powerful enough to incapacitate instantly. A machine that doesn't stop until the target is neutralized. A machine that can do this hundreds of times without degrading performance. And they're preparing to mass produce them. Will robots replace humanity? Maybe not entirely, but they're definitely replacing human soldiers. And once that happens, the country with the most advanced combat robots doesn't just have military advantage. They have absolute dominance. Beijing's betting everything on getting there first. The T-800 is the starting line, not the finish. And the race is already underway. Think about a robot that can crush bones with a single punch, that can operate for days without stopping, that follows orders without moral hesitation. That can be deployed in thousands simultaneously. Now think about what happens when that technology scales. When manufacturing costs drop, when every capability improves by 50% year over year. That's not a distant future. That's being built in Chinese factories right now, not someday. Today. The next time you see footage of a robot performing a spinning kick or pulling a vehicle, don't think cool technology. Think about what happens when thousands of these machines deploy simultaneously. Think about what happens when they can overpower any human force without breaking stride. Because that future isn't approaching. It's already here. The only question left is whether anyone else can catch up before it's too late.